Okay, I think we are sort of live and up and running. I'm just looking at the waiting room, just keep admitting people in. So welcome everybody if you're coming in, and thank you for being patient. If you've been waiting a little while. So admit. Yep, admitting everybody in. Good. All right, everybody's gone shy. Nobody's on the video except for Jackie. Good. Okay, a little bit more coming in. Oh, cool. Somebody else joined us in video. Good to see some faces. It's always nice to talk to a face than a screen, but no worries at all. Whatever suits you tonight. Okay, I'm just going to give it another minute or two in case a few latecomers are just coming along. I know things may be a bit hectic. If we're doing a bit of maybe, I don't know, homeschooling perhaps, or trying to get home in the kind of freezing fog and snow wherever you are across the UK. I don't know what things are like down south in England, but up in Scotland, it's really, really cold and a fair bit of snow and some freezing fog and a lot of ice and stuff like that. So we might be running a little bit late and just getting back into the groove of things. So just trying to keep an eye on the waiting room here. Okay, it's all right, Wendy. I was not going to inspect what you're having for dinner, so don't worry about it. But enjoy your whatever you're making on the dinner plate, and I hope there's a glass of wine going along with that as well. So for those two ladies I can see, I think we have Jackie and Lucy. Can you sort of see me okay, hear me okay? Is the lighting just about all right? Perfect. Okay, fantastic. All right, checking on the menu. Very good. No problem at all. Sounds good. Okay, 6:45, so we're just a few minutes late. No major drama, really. Cool. So I'm just going to jump in. Apologies if I'm a little bit distracted. I'm just keeping an eye on, obviously, on the waiting room for people coming in a little bit late. I'm just going to quickly kind of jump on and give them a little click in, as it were. So I recognize one or two names, but for everybody who doesn't know me, my name is Tim Meadows. I am a nutrition coach. I've created a company called Group X Nutrition, and I'm here delighted to be back. I did a few webinars end of last year, around November, December time, four webinars, and delighted to be asked back. So thank you for anybody who's obviously put in a good word and a bit of feedback to Energy, and I'm obviously delighted to be back. It's always nice to get a second round of kind of talks, feel a bit more kind of comfortable. And after tonight's first night, first time seeing and meeting and talking and stuff like that, then hopefully you can be nice and relaxed come the second and third and kind of fourth night. So usual thing as kind of sort of dates and meetings and all that stuff kind of go on, the more familiar we'll be, the more relaxed we'll be, and hopefully you'll get a lot out from the session. So I know the sessions are 30 minutes, and I do have a tendency to talk really fast when I get a little bit excited about things. So I'm going to do my best to kind of calm down, talk slowly, clearly. I'm just, trying to kind of cram in as much stuff, as much information and content as we can in the 30 minutes that we're sort of allowed. Of course, if there's any questions afterwards, I don't have anything on tonight. So I'll hang around for a few minutes afterwards if anybody wants to ping me a message in the group or have a little chat afterwards. But if you ever want to get in touch at any point, feel free to find me on Instagram at Tim_nutrition coach. Probably the best way to kind of find me there if you ever fancy chatting or asking or anything on those lines. Okay. So yeah, obviously I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas, a happy new year, and all that wonderful stuff. And no doubt we just want to get straight into some content. So unlike the webinars before, where I've created a PowerPoint and really kind of spoke to the PowerPoint for its kind of structure, I really kind of feel that today's kind of topic, talking about habits, I've got a set structure of 3 things that I want to discuss over the next 30 minutes. but it's going to be a bit just very conversationalist, you know, very not freestyle. There's obviously definite structure. There's definitely things I want to put across, but just to be a lot more kind of free-handed. And I thought instead of looking at a PowerPoint screen as I've done previously, it'll be good to look at a couple of you, really, because it's one thing obviously quite difficult to do with Zoom. You don't really see the faces. So that's my plan. You can let me know how it goes. Okay, always happy to take on along that feedback. So tonight's session is all about habits and why habits will last longer than resolutions. Okay, so it's not, of course, that I'm a diverge or have an issue or have any problem with anybody making resolutions. Resolutions are absolutely fantastic. However, personally, and my kind of coaching business, I've found that habits is the way forward. Okay, I'm a big advocate of building habits. If you've ever heard of compound interest, sometimes compound interest is termed as the eighth wonder of the world. And with habits, a very, very similar thing happens. It's an accumulation on compounding impact of habits building that can really, really transform your lifestyle from where it is now into where you want it to be and where you deserve to be. Okay, so massive advocate of habits because the one, they do take time. So I'm very anti-fad, anti-detox, anti-shortcut. Okay, I'm very much pro about accountability, appreciating the journey, the ups and downs, the roller coasters, you know, changing the lifestyle. If your lifestyle changes, then your habits change, then you will move to where you want to be. And typically, if we're in a gym environment, if your gym members are part of a gym chain, you know, we want to, you know, keep ourselves fit, lose weight, feel good about ourselves, okay? And essentially just live a stress-free and healthy, strong lifestyle. Generally, it all boils down to kind of confidence and wanting to look good naked, okay? And that's perfectly fine. We want to feel good. We want to be energetic. We want to have a high, you know, performance lifestyle. We don't want to feel sluggish. We don't feel too sore. So it all errs towards that kind of stuff. So instead of thinking about quick fixes and fads, I talk about habits and lifestyle a lot with my clients and literally anybody that's willing to listen to me on social media and any kind of webinars. Okay, so massive advocate of habits. So resolutions, why I'm a bit sort of adverse to resolutions is because generally resolutions are quite extreme. You're trying to make a lot of changes really quickly, generally too much too soon, okay? And most newcomers to the gym, so for a little background, started being a fitness instructor and personal trainer more than 10 years ago before getting into the specific area of nutrition coaching. So I've been on the gym floor, you know, through the years of January, December, and February. So newcomers generally will always try to take on too much because you feel a little, maybe a little bit guilty for too much turkey, too much mince pies, brandy cream, etc. Now you want to get started. You know, it's all about new you, new year, new you, etc., etc. Okay. But what tends to happen is that we chew off way too much. Okay. We see the end goal and we want to be the end goal by the end of like week number 2. So we reduce our calories more often than not because that's what we need to do to diet. We've all heard about calorie deficits all over the place. So calorie deficit, that means eat less food, okay? Then now we need to kind of not punish our bodies, but we need to now go and train 3, 4, 5 days a week. And we're surrounded by a lot of, you know, marketing, a lot of images, a lot of discussions about, you know, training hard and burning in the intense zones and doing HIIT and, you know, how much do you sweat and all these kind of marketing graphics and numbers and names and terms that kind of get us led into this sort of ecosystem of like, I've got to punish my body. I've got to train hard. Every session must be a killer session. But when you reduce calories and you try to do more or too much exercise, it's like a recipe for disaster because it's the calories and fuel that you need to help you do the additional training. So if we sit off on like an even plateau, we reduce calories and then we increase activity, that deficit is just too extreme. And that's why a lot of diets will start off really well. And then by week 1, week 2, you're off the rails, don't like it, not happening, my body's sore, I'm grumpy, X, Y, Z, okay? And we're back to square one. And then you feel really shit, you feel really bad, you blame yourself, but in effect, the diet was the wrong approach. Nothing to do with you, the diet was the wrong approach and it's a bit too extreme, okay? So resolutions is what I was going to say at the start before I went off on a slight tangent, was that we look at the end result too kind of soon and we don't plan through realistic goals. Okay, we don't set out How are we going to get there? So if somebody says, you know, I want to lose a stone in 3 months, okay, perfect. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. You want to lose a little bit of weight. You want to feel good in bikini again when the summertime comes around. You want to be more confident. You don't want to have to keep wearing the same baggy clothes the whole time. You don't want to, you know, hide away from the mirror and all that stuff. You want to get a bit more intimate with your partners, or just feel good when you step out in the shower. Perfectly fine, right? You want to lose a bit of weight. Perfect. Now we need to set that into an actual genuine goal. So instead of saying, I want to lose a stone, okay, that's like 10% of how we're going to get there. So next up, that's 14 pounds. If I remember my maths correctly, how long are we going to need to lose that 14 pounds? What steps, what plan, what strategy, you know, what habits are we going to need to implement to help us get to that goal? Because it's all very well kind of saying like, I want to do that, okay, but how? I want to go see the Sydney Opera House. Right, okay. Well, you're going to need a few things first, right? You're going to need money for a plane ticket. You're going to need a passport. You're going to need to get to the airport. You're going to need to sit through the 20-hour flight and then get a taxi from Sydney Airport down to the... So there's steps, okay, is what I'm trying to say, that you need to go through to get from where you are to where you want to be. It doesn't just happen at a click of the fingers. And that's unfortunately where diet culture, detox, all the scams and all the fads sort of play on, right? They play on that like, don't worry about planning it, just buy this or just eat this or just do whatever. And it just doesn't work, okay? It just doesn't work. So you're gonna look for the small steps, and it sounds really, really what I term unsexy, okay? It's too normal, you know, it's too much common sense, unfortunately. It's very hard to sell common sense and logic, but you're gonna look for those small steps. Just like a ladder, right? If you're at the bottom, you want to get up to the top, to the second floor, third floor. You don't just take one big step, right? You take lots of small little steps. And then over the days, over the weeks, you will eventually get to where you want to be, okay? And it'll not be a big struggle. You're not trying to chew off too much too soon. It won't feel like it's unsustainable. It won't feel like, oh, this is no use. I'm never going to lose weight or get fitter or run a marathon under whatever 4 hours or something like that, okay? So small steps are absolutely kind of fundamental, and that leads us into habit building as opposed to, you know, thinking that we can't achieve any one of our goals or aspirations. Another analogy that I like to use is obviously like the kind of marathon one. Nobody decides to run a marathon and then just runs out 26 miles, okay? You do a bit of training, you do a bit of practice, prepping, planning. How many runs a week am I going to do? I've got to buy the right trainers to make sure that my foot gait and everything works all right. Okay, I've got to have decent hydration. I need a music playlist in my ears. You said all these things, and it takes you a few weeks, a few months to train up to your end goal of running a marathon. Another analogy is like any skill set, like driving. The first time you went for a driving lesson, you know, it's learning the basics, starting their engine. What does this do? What does that do? Maybe a bit of clutch control, perhaps, okay? A long time since I did my driving license test. But as you build on the habits and you slowly learn, oh, right, handbrake control, done. Right, next up, clutch control, done. Right, okay, look in the mirrors, done. And then you slowly get there to being a good, safe, effective driver. Okay, it's about those small steps. We do that in everyday life. Yet for some reason, when it comes to nutrition and training and goal setting, we wanted a quick fix. But that's because social media hit you, marketing hit you, all the scammers hit you. You know, we live in a very comparison world where we look at everybody on Facebook and Instagram and we think we need to be doing that, okay? And it's like a highlight reel comparison, and it's not real life anyway, real life. It's not real life anyway, okay? So that's just the kind of nature of the beast that is society nowadays, unfortunately. So that's why I'm a huge advocate of setting our course, make a goal, all right? And then use the whole good old fashioned smart stuff. Is it achievable? Is it realistic? Need a time on it. Set a time. Is it 8 weeks? Is it 12 weeks? Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Okay. How long are you going to be working towards this goal? And then you can make the small steps backwards so you know what to be doing every week to get there. Okay. Because if you don't make those small steps, small habits, those 10 or 12 steps to get to the finish, all you're going to be focused on at the start is the end. And you're not going to appreciate that it's going to take a bit of time and a bit of lifestyle changing, a bit of sacrifice, and a little bit of up and a little bit of down. But as long as you've got the why pushing you, Okay, so why are you creating this goal? What's the pain struggle you're trying to move away from? That emotional struggle needs to be big enough to keep pushing you obviously forward. So as unpleasant as it may sound, you need to be very mindful of why you've made that goal. Because if I ask you, why would you like to lose a stone? I don't know, Betty next door did it, okay? Wrong reason. That's not going to help you when you find yourself kind of struggling and having to be a bit more disciplined. Why do you want to run a marathon? I don't know, it just looks like fun, okay? You'll not get past 12 miles, okay? I want to run a marathon because I want to raise money for XYZ charity. I want to raise the money because I want to be a role model for my son or for my daughter. That will get you through the marathon, okay? I want to lose the weight because I'm sick and tired of feeling a little bit overweight. I'm sick and tired of choosing this size dress when I want to be this size. And I'm just sick and tired of XYZ. Right, okay, that's enough emotional push to kind of get you going in the right direction, okay? So the why needs to be really, really massive as well. And then you make the plan of the how, okay? The what, how, and why. So just very briefly, I know most of you probably can't see me, I don't think, but I know some of you can, so I'm gonna do it up on the board anyway. Just a very quick visual plan of what I'm talking about. So hopefully everybody can see this. So I'm just gonna go up here. Good old-fashioned time scale. 0 months, 6 months in the middle, 12 months on the end.
I can't see anything.
3, 6, 9. Okay, so apologies for the squinty handwriting, but hopefully you kind of get that. So just visualize a time frame split up into quarters. Okay, so 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. So instead of creating a resolution, why not think about where do you want to be in 3 months' time? Where do you want to be in 6 months' time? When the January 1st, 2022 comes around, how different do you want to be? You know, like what change is it that you want to sort of feel or experience? Do you want to be, you know, have learned a new language? Do you want to be this fit with a, you know, a VO2 volume number of this? You want to be able to row with the row machine 5K time in this, or you want to, whatever it may be, it might just be physical. You know, I want to drop a dress size. I want to drop 2 dress sizes, 3 dress sizes. I want to drop 2 dress sizes and run a half a marathon, right? Whatever, totally your call, okay? Figure out where do you want to be in 12 months' time and then work your way back. So this might be, just for example, say the 2 stone and a half marathon. Oh, let's be bold, right? Because it's a year. Oh, messed that up. 2 stone and 1. I'm not going to read that. That says marathon, okay? 2 stone and 1 marathon. That's big things you want to achieve by the end of the year. Okay, how are you going to get to these 2 places? Well, let's go back to 6 months. So what's a decent, you know, halfway point to make sure we're going to be here? Okay, obvious one, maybe 1 stone and a half marathon. Maybe I've ran a half marathon by 6 months. That will get me kind of going in the right direction, okay? And then you work back to 3 months. So what do I need to be doing in 3 months' time to make sure that I'm on track in 6 months' time to make sure I'm on track in December? Well, maybe you've lost, let's go for 8 pounds, okay? And you've gone for, let's say, by that time, you've clocked up 3 10Ks. 1 10K per month, January, February, March, okay? Something simple like that. Then you look at the weight, 8 pounds, 3 months, that's 12 weeks. So I'm going to aim to lose, you know, just under a pound a week. Now the question is, get into the kind of juicy bit. What do I need to be doing to my habits daily to allow me to lose 8 pounds in 12 weeks? Okay. Then you create what you think are going to be the habits that you can change every week. Okay. And habits, we're going into kind of chapter 2 here in my kind of mind. So habit building will lead you to a high performance lifestyle. Okay. So in my head, we're on to chapter 2, talking about kind of habits now. So this is the kind of realistic goals over resolutions aspect. Okay. Why goals and habits are better than just focusing on resolutions and the end product. So habits are subconscious, they're automatic. That means that they're part of your lifestyle. Okay. You wake up in the morning, the first 5 things you do are done off of habit. Wake up, maybe dressing gown on or something, to the bathroom, morning routine, maybe brush your teeth or something, down to the kitchen, coffee on, tea on, whatever it may be, open up the curtains, whatever, something along those lines, okay? But habits are built over time. It does take more than, you know, 1 day of doing it, okay? So there needs to be a commitment and an understanding that your habits will take time to build. But because they take time to build, they will be everlasting. Okay, it's difficult to take away a negative habit because it's so ingrained. Okay, that's how powerful habits are. They are literally embedded in your subconscious. You would do them half asleep, right? Some are positive, some are negative. Not all habits are great, not habits are negative. We'll have positive and negative habits, okay? So look at the goal, make the plan, and set up the pathway for you to get to where you want to be, while you remember the why every day, every week, okay? So simple ways of doing it. I get my clients to do this all the time, is literally for them or for yourselves to do it whenever you want. Habit 1 is going to be this. Habit 2 will be this. So for example, habit 1, how am I going to lose 8 pounds in 12 weeks? My first week, I'm going to start eating more protein. Okay, because more protein will help me be leaner, create more fat loss. It affects the calorie deficit without actually having to do any burpees, which is a total win kind of thing. Okay, protein doesn't be stored by your body. Amino acids aren't stored, only carbs and fats are stored in your body. So you need a constant, regular supply of amino acids and protein through your body. There's so many wins as reasons why you need a bit more protein in your body. And ladies and females generally undereat protein massively. Okay, so bump up those numbers and good things will happen. So first week, eat the right amount of protein. And as a rough generic guideline, without knowing anybody's personal stuff or body weights, etc., I would go somewhere between 1.6 and 2 grams per kilogram body weight. Okay, just as a rough guide, instead of around about the 1 gram per kilogram body weight, you need to shift it more to that 1.5, 1.6, 1.8 kind of numbers. Okay, so that's the first week. Just eat more protein. Don't stress about nothing else, right? Make this simple. Make it achievable. One thing, more protein. Do that for 7 days. Then habit 2. So you've written all this out before you start. Habit 2 now is going to be something like whatever you fancy. If you've got your starting point and you know how many steps you have, say, on an average week and an average day, say 7 or 8,000, add on 10%, and then aim for those steps. So week 2 could just be being more active, i.e. go from 8,000 steps to 9,000, or from 8 to 10 or 9 to 10. Okay, that's all week 2 is. You're keeping week 1, so you're keeping the high protein or more protein. Now week 2, you're adding in more steps, which is a good way of increasing your calorie expenditure without bashing yourself in the gym and doing tons of burpees and the HIIT stuff and everything. Okay, so now we affected thermal effective food and NEAT, so all calorie outputs without really doing anything too drastic. Nobody's had to do a detox or any of that nonsense. Okay, we're all still living our life quite normally. Week 3 could be like a lifestyle habit. It could be knocking off device time at 10 o'clock. It could be making sure that you're in bed by 10:30. Or it could make sure the other way that you're out of bed by 6:30 or whatever. Okay, so something lifestyle like that. You know, I'm going to park the car further away from the office, or I'm going to ride to work just on a Monday morning, or whatever. It could be like a lifestyle thing. Okay, week 4 could be I'm going to research some more recipes. I'm going to try 3 different meals this week for me, for the family, or for whatever else, right? Because I want a bit of variety in my foods. Week 4 could just be I'm going to have 2 veg, 2 protein every day. Simple, you know, things that we know we need to be doing, but lay it in, you know, one at a time. Okay, so the accumulative effect of compounding habits. So by week 8, week 9, week 10, you've now built up these habits. You've keeping them all because they're all reasonable. They're all sustainable. Nobody's having to do anything drastic all of a sudden. And by week 12, you will be, you know, well on your path to where you want to be without any major drama. Okay. In the coaching terms, what great coaches do is remove obstacles and make things simple and make things easy. Coaches out there that make things difficult and sound overly complicated are doing it for totally wrong kind of reasons. Okay. Make it simple, make it achievable, remove the obstacles and get people compliant. So get like yourselves moving forward, taking accountability and doing simple things that will get you where you want to be, with the understanding that's not going to happen in 24 hours. It will happen, of course, okay, but it's not going to be instant, because nothing this long term is going to be instant. Okay, and that's it. And we track, tweak, monitor our way through. 12 weeks, 12 habits, and then we move back forward, okay? Constantly after your 3-month goal, then you look to the 6-month goal, and then a 9-month goal, et cetera, et cetera. So it's broken into segments. It's broken into many chunks. The steps on the ladder, not from round 1 up to round 10. We go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, okay? Small steps at a time. Now, I've been talking for, how long is this now? 25 minutes. Okay, cool. So a few more minutes. Now, this is the key. A lot of keys, and this are a lot of fundamental points. But if you're going to take 5 minutes, right? Because when I say to my clients, and I'll be really direct with them, and I'll say, look, I know you're going to spend at least 10 minutes a day scrolling on Instagram. I know you're going to spend at least half an hour watching one soap or whatever it may be, okay? Take 10 minutes to write out your 8 or 12 habits for the next 12 weeks, okay? Set that mini goal. Week 1, habit 1, what is yours? Week 2, habit 2, what is yours, okay? Write that out, put it on an A4 bit of paper. Then turn the page and write down your obstacles and your potential distractions. What's going to kind of deter you away from your path and your plan that you've created with your own why and your own goal. And this is all yours, okay? Distractions and obstacles, okay? Too much expectation, obstacle, expecting too much too soon, okay? Too much reference into body weight purely, not taking into account how you look, like your body shape in the mirror and your dress sizes and all that kind of stuff as well as confidence, energy, mood, and sleep. All important things that are equal, if not maybe more important than solely kind of body weight, okay? So you're gonna take everything into account to get a really good idea as to where you are kind of moving forward to. Distractions, okay? What sort of distractions would get you going, say you're onto week 2 or week 3, and then all of a sudden getting a little bit bored, okay? And then somebody at work or somebody online does something new or doing a new diet or offers you a detox, okay? Or something else that Netflix and Peppa Pig tell you to do on Netflix, okay? Oh, let's do that. Oh, somebody's doing this fancy diet. Oh, what's that actress's name? Does the home workout videos, not Cilla Black, the other one. You know, she's bought something else out. I'm going to jump on her, you know, Davina McCall, right? That's it, Davina McCall. Davina's done something new. I'm going to jump on her. Or Joe Wicks is doing something. I'm going to jump back on whatever Joe's doing and know that this, right? Distractions, okay? It's like little bits of tinsel trying to distract you away from the kind of path. So distractions will take you away from that, from a clear and simple plan. So you need to ask yourself, okay, be truthful, you know, will my plan work if I stick to it? Okay, will I lose, whatever my goal is, will I lose weight if I stick to it? Yes. Will I run a marathon by December if I stick to my plan I've created? Yes. Is this achievable? Yes. Is it realistic? Yes. Is it time framed? Yes. Right. So get yourself saying yes, 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 yes. And then say, well, I don't want any distractions because I know if I stick to this and be disciplined, discipline is way more important than motivation anyway, in my opinion. If I say disciplined and that why is nagging me behind me, where I want to move away from that pain, move away from that struggle, okay? If I stick onto it, I will get to it. Guaranteed, if I don't stick to it, I will definitely not get to where I want to be, okay? So you don't want to self-sabotage yourself by Davina or Joe or somebody at work or somebody, you know, giving you a shortcut or a fad or getting distracted with a detox and a cleanse and all this kind of nonsense, okay? All distractions trying to take you away from your path, okay? Yeah, habits take time. Fads and detoxes don't take time, okay? We said right at the kind of start, habits are time, they're autonomous, they're subconscious, so that, you know, it has to build into your lifestyle, right, into your decision making. And yes, so what I would say to a lot of people as well, this but people don't make decisions on logic, okay? We're not logical creatures, unfortunately. Like it or lump it, we are emotional creatures, okay? We make decisions based on emotion, based on trust, based on faith, all that kind of stuff, but generally emotion. And that's where the kind of like sort of scams, detoxes, quick fixes, fads, all kind of jump in because they all tell you what they want to hear, all right? you know, you lose a stone in a week by not eating any food, all right, or whatever else, okay? They'll tell you something that's too good to be true. They'll play to your kind of weakness, and logic goes out the window. So most of you probably haven't, you know, probably have heard most of the stuff that I've said before, or not I say, or that I have said before, okay? A bit of it perhaps, or maybe all of it, or heard different parts of it. So it's not just about being logical, because I can make a good logical argument with you and you'd be like, yeah. And then tomorrow you would be jumping around doing something completely different to what you just said. Yeah, you make real good sense, okay? Because somebody's hit on an emotional trigger. So I, as a coach, I got to find an emotional trigger for you and for my clients, okay? So I don't know anybody well enough, but you've got to think about, you know, if you accept that detoxes are a bit of a scams, that, you know, if you were full of toxins, you would be in a hospital. Are you in a hospital? No, okay? So, you know, if somebody offers you a detox, go, whoa, stop, get away with your nonsense, please. You know, I don't need that. I know my body is worth more than, you know, starving it with 800 calories and then basically having food poisoning and diarrhea for 3 days, thinking that I'm losing weight, okay? I'm smarter than that, okay? I value my body more than putting it through that punishment, okay? I'm not going to fall for those tricks. So you've got to kind of empower yourselves and, you know, all that kind of stuff to think about putting an emotional twist on it where I want to get to this way. I have this much self-worth. This is where I don't want to be. I don't want to look backwards. I want to look kind of forwards. You know, I'm going to be smart this time. I'm going to be pushed by my own emotional triggers and make the right decisions for myself by taking accountability, not blame anybody else, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff like that. Okay, so everybody will have their own emotional trigger, and obviously I'm going to have to kind of challenge yourselves to find your own one to kind of make those decisions and make those conversations in your head when little distractions and little things come along, to kind of stay away from just the pseudoscience and the misinformation and the confusion, all that kind of stuff. Okay, and that little tidbit that I said a few moments ago about, you know, making things simple, removing obstacles, making things simple, making things compliant. When I say compliant, you'll be consistent. If you're consistent, you'll stick to the plan, stick to the path, end goal, unfocused, one small step, one weekly habit at a time, and you'll absolutely rock it, okay? Overreach too soon, too much expectations, comparing yourself to somebody that's not got your lifestyle on Instagram or a celebrity, no use. Shortcut to shooting yourself in the foot, okay? And everybody deserves way more than that. Okay, so if you wish, you know, there's a little bit of, not really like homework or anything, but there's a bit of work there to be done. If you wish, it's the 7th of January. So, you know, there's a Monday coming up soon. You know, we'll start things on Monday, obviously. So you've got a few days, set out a couple of goals, you know, 12 months goal, a 6-month goal, whatever may be. And then plan out how you're going to do that, right? That's the habits. The habits are the how. All right, the what is it, how, and then the why, okay? And that's it essentially for tonight. Think about probably just about on time, maybe gone over a few minutes. So yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head what's happening for next week. In fact, hang on, if you just excuse me 2 seconds, I'll have a quick nosy. I've got it written down here somewhere. Let's see what we're going to go for next week. All right, okay, how to lose weight and keep it off, okay? So continuing on from the habits about kind of losing weight and keeping it off. So ideally, the last and ever time that you're gonna need to go on some sort of diet or weight loss strategy or weight loss approach, okay? And yes, you'll be eating all the macros and all the calories and not doing anything daft. There'll be loads of really, really boring common sense and logic, unfortunately. So if you're up for that, hopefully I'll see you next week. But if you fancy a detox or a cleanse, I'm not the guy for you, unfortunately. Okay. So for everybody who's tuned in, thank you so much for joining. Great to have, I think, the 20, 21, 22, 23 of you on board. Feel free to chat away if you want to. I'll be here for a few moments. Otherwise, as I said, find me on Instagram if you like. Fairly easy to kind of recognize, I guess. Otherwise, have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay warm wherever you are. And yeah, I'll see you next week, Thursday, 6:40. All right. Cheerio. Bye.
Thanks very much. Bye.
Yes, bye-bye.
Bye.
No worries, bye.
Thank you, Tim.
No probs. All right, I see a few people still on. Does anybody want to sort of chat or have a text chat or reach out later on, or let me know, or if you maybe hang around for the next session, perhaps? I'm not too sure. Or maybe I've just bored you and you've fallen asleep. I'm not sure. Okay, doc. Right, I'll be heading off. See you soon.